Hi, welcome to my winter knitting plan video. Hi, my name's Emily, and this is a video totally dedicated to all of the things I plan to knit for the rest of the winter season. Now that we're out of gift knitting season, which is kind of a whole time of itself, the last 2 months have been totally dedicated to that. Knitting mainly gifts for others and a few things for myself, but now that I am a little bit more freed up, I'm going to just focus in on the things that I've been looking to knit. It's totally in the winter season now. I feel like there's a snowstorm happening outside, and I'll maybe pull up a little picture of it because it is really beautiful. I feel like I'm in a snow globe. I'm trying to romanticize the winter season. It's kind of hard for me. It gets so cold in the winter time, and I don't love being out in the cold, but I can appreciate it from inside, which is perfect because that's where I get to knit anyways. So these are going to be broken up into 3 categories: small, medium, and large. That's kind of how I tend to knit. I like to have something small to throw in my bag that's kind of simple and easy. Usually that's a sock. I always have a sock going. And then the mediums are more like accessories, maybe a little bit more of a complicated pattern or a newer pattern for me. And then the larger patterns are going to be like a sweater. It's only in the last 2 years that I've really gotten to pattern knitting. For the longest time, I only ever knit things based off of like what little knowledge I had on knitting, and I think pattern knitting is a great way to learn new skills and techniques. So I am really excited about some of the things that I'm going to knit because I feel like I have all these new skills I want to try out. But I also like finding things that other people have knit that are a little bit more easy for me to do, because it feels like kind of a way for me to knit while I'm in bed and not have to think too hard about the project and still get a lovely garment in the end. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, like I said, starting off with these smaller items, this is going to be mainly socks. I'm gonna use my laptop that I've put over here just to reference a few things. Starting off with like the sock that I've knit the most over the last 2 months, which is the Tuva Sandok rib sock. I've knit that twice already, and I want to knit a pair for myself this time. I like it. I feel like it's a great winter sock. It's fuzzy, chunky, and very cozy. I also have discovered this free knitting site called Innovative Haberdeep. I'll have it over here. It's not in English, so you have to translate it, but it does have a lot of like great garments. The one sock pattern that I found, and just like a lot of great free knitting patterns, which I love. I feel like it's always great to find some fun free patterns. I've been renting sock books from the library using Libby, so I can kind of collect more ideas for sock knitting, and I want to kind of revamp my vanilla sock pattern that I feel like now that I've knit a few like unique socks, different heel constructions and toe constructions, I want to try something and maybe even dabble into the world of making patterns. I'm not really sure how to go about doing that, but I feel like a sock I could do, and I feel like that would be really fun. And just how much I love like learning from patterns, I feel like it'd be really fun to give it a shot myself. And then I also want to continue to make skinny scarves. I bought a knitting machine recently, and I've replaced a few things on it. I've replaced the band on it, and I need to replace some needles. Portions of the bed is fine, but other portions, the needles aren't, or like rusted over. So I can only knit like small skinny scarves on like a portion of the bed, and honestly it's so frustrating that I need to wait, but that's something fun I want to continue to do over the winter season. For the most part, the small items that I plan to knit are just socks, and I feel like that's such a great way to try out new techniques. It's such a great way to like incorporate color working or something that I maybe am a little bit more nervous to try out on a whole sweater is a great way to do it on just a sock because it feels low stakes. And maybe I'm not the only person. I feel like I don't have second sock syndrome. I love re-knitting stuff, and especially socks, because I feel like the first time I knit it, my brain is expanding, and then the second time I knit it, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And I just feel like it becomes smoother and smoother every time, and there's something that I really enjoy about that. It's like reading a book again or watching a movie over. I really enjoy the repetition of doing something that I feel comfortable in. So yeah, I want to hone in on some more fun sock projects. Next up, we have our medium objects. These are based off of a few things that I've seen online. The most popular would probably be the Bala bonnet. I want to knit it in, I think, kind of the color that I've seen online the most, which is like a bright red. The yarn that's used for the project, it's Ruma Garn, is not available. At least I can't find it here in Minneapolis, the Puro yarn. So right now that's on the back burner until I can find a good replacement yarn. I don't want it to be another blown yarn. I feel like I've been working with a lot of blown yarns, which is fine, but I do find it kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's like sensitivity, but I do feel like it maybe itches my hands a little bit. But yeah, I do want to knit a bonnet at some point. I feel like those are so popular, and I just feel like the protection I would get over my head would be really lovely for the winter. I'm also going to knit another Sophie hood. I knit one last winter in kind of a blueberry electric blue color. I'm going to knit this one using Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in a purple color. I can't remember what color it is right now, but it's purple. I'm going to knit that along with my partner who's knitting one for his mom. After he still has a few Christmas gifts he has to finish first. But that's one I already have the yarn for and we're going to be doing soon. The other project I want to do is the Berlin scarf. Again, I feel like this is I'm being a little bit more picky about my yarn. I do want to get the Sandisgarn alpaca yarn that's used for it. There's like a beautiful like gray beige color in the collection that I haven't seen at a shop close by to me yet, so I think I'm just gonna buy it online. But yeah, I also feel like going for a bold color for that one would be fun too. It kind of reminds me of an Acne Studios scarf. I feel like doing like a crazy green or a red, or I know for a lot of their sweaters they do kind of more patchwork design, so I feel like that could be kind of cool too. And some other fun things, yeah, I want to knit the Swan bonnet by Riri Knits. I think she uses Coast for that, and I have some Coast, but I don't know if it's exactly the style for the bonnet that I'm thinking, but I think that's so darling with the little swan and the bow. I really want to knit one of those. And then the last kind of medium thing I'm thinking about knitting is the Selma Sleep Suit by Petite Knit. I feel like Petite Knit has amazing kids options, and I have two friends that just had babies. So this is something that I've been thinking about knitting for them, as you know, it's winter and keeping the little ones warm. This looks like such a quick knit too, and using an Aran weight yarn. So yeah, I think that will be really fun. Those are kind of those are like those medium things like I was saying. I don't know if I'll get to all of these. I'm guessing I'll probably get to 2, and if I don't get to the baby stuff, I'll find a springtime baby project to get into instead, because I do want to knit something, and I do feel like baby items. I always gravitate towards those. I feel like they look so cute and so tiny, and yeah, it'll be fun to knit some baby stuff. Okay, and last we have the larger items, which are always the most fun. This is the one I'm gonna have to look the most at my laptop for. I feel like top of the list, which is the one that I've been most excited for and I have half the yarn for, is my Freya sweater. I'm gonna use Knitting for Olive, Heavy Merino, and Soft Silk Mohair in cream. I just love a fisherman's knit, and I've been seeing them at stores, and I just think I can knit that, and I think how fun it will it be just to have something like that I've knit myself. I've done cabling before, but nothing as intense as this. I've only ever done it on like I think a scarf before, so that I'm really excited about. I also want to knit the Eve dress. I was planning on maybe doing that earlier this year, but it's definitely not going to happen before New Year's. So I'm just going to plan to knit it for next New Year's. And I'm a little bit more picky about the yarn for this one. I feel like I've seen a lot of alternatives, but I'm not quite sure how it will knit up. And I don't know, I'm gonna look around a little bit more. I've been watching some videos and how it's been looking for some other people, and I'm just not sold on some yarns yet. We'll see what happens. The Puro cardigan is another item that I plan to knit. I already have the yarn for it. I've already started on it, so easy, done. I'm really excited about it. I love the yarn that I'm using for it. I'm using Noro yarn in the color Hastings. It's Hanui kind of sheep from New Zealand, and I love that it just feels like the yarn was spun off of the sheep. There's like little pieces of hay in it, and just the variation in the texture and the thickness of the yarn just really creates a really lovely knit, and I'm obsessed with the yarn. I want to knit so many other things and different colors in that style of yarn. I just think it's really special. I feel like everybody talks about how amazing Noro yarn is, and once you start using it you become obsessed, and I totally get it now, and I want to buy all of their yarn. But that one should be done relatively soon. I feel like that one is a pretty simple knit, pretty simple cardigan. The next thing I want to do is the legs pullover. I feel like by Ozetta. Everybody talks about this sweater. It's one of the classic sweaters for people to do, and I have been more interested in kind of doing simple knits. I know everybody wants like a Baba dupe, so I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm going for too. I haven't decided on the color yet. I'm really picky about my yarn. I feel like I've done the classic mistake of just purchasing yarn because I just see it and I want it, and then I knit with it, and then I realize, what the heck was I doing? I hate it. I hate this yarn. But I still use it. I want to be a little bit more thoughtful about how I'm purchasing stuff. So that's one thing I'm looking to knit this winter. I also really want to knit a polo. The Polo number 1 by My Favorite Things. I feel like I was inspired by a video I saw recently by what's her account? Mingram Studios, and she has this really awesome colorway inspiration video, and I feel like the cascade brown, yellow, and blue combo that she suggested, it would be really fun in a polo. And I feel like if I can knit that before the springtime, I can wear that in the spring. It's also, I think, calls for a light fingering plus a lace, so which equals like a DK, so I feel like that would be fine for the cascade. I think it's a superwash, so my only worry is that it might be too drapey and too not sit nice, but maybe that's perfect for the spring, perfect for like a in-between seasons. The last thing I want to knit is another free pattern by the place I mentioned before, that Scandinavian website that does free patterns. It's the Hugo Raglan sweater. I wanted to knit this one for my partner. I feel like we've been looking at it, and it uses a fine merino wool, and I feel like that would be a really beautiful thing to gift him. Probably start knitting it now or get the yarn now, and then hopefully have it done in time for next winter. Maybe I'll gift it to him then. Those are the larger items I've been thinking about knitting. Not too many. I feel like that's quite a realistic, is that realistic? Quite a realistic list for the next 4 months. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I just feel like it is a great kind of North Star for me to kind of go towards, and projects that I feel like are reasonably doable and not too challenging with the limited timeline that I have. But yeah, I'm really excited. I know for sure that once I get the rest of the yarn for my Freya sweater, that will be the next thing I cast on. And whether or not I get to some other stuff, I have yarn for a few other things that I could be knitting too, but we'll see if I get to this stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching my winter knitting plans video. I hope you liked it. I hopefully will be making some more videos about knitting and all the stuff that I plan to do over the winter season. Maybe take you along on some adventures. I also want to know, like, what kind of videos do you want to see? If you like this, please like, subscribe. My New Year's resolution is definitely making more fiber friends and more artists, especially here in Minneapolis. I feel like it's a city that can get hard to meet new people in. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.